All right. I was trying to do this live, but I'm just going to record it and then edit it and then upload it to my YouTube channel. Something's going on with this network in here. I don't know. Charter is getting on my last nerve because um, around this time, around like the first of the month, the internet always slows down in my office, and can't nobody explain it to me. But anywho, I'm just going to record this, and then like I said, I'm gonna edit it and upload it. Well, this is my reaction to Shahrazad Ali on Donohue. Now, if you don't know anything about Sister Shahrazad, man, I love Sister Shahrazad. Sister Shahrazad came out with a book back in, I want to say, the late 80s, early 90s. It was called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Um, it was a very controversial book at the time. It was controversial because there are certain things that happen within the African American community that are supposed to remain unsaid. Like, we are not supposed to shine a spotlight or even question the behavior of African American women. And exactly what Sarah Ali did was brought a spotlight and an examination to the behavior of our women. And man, it was controversial. Like, I watched it on Donohue about 6 months ago. I watched it again. Every time that she, um, whatever everywhere she went, people was trying to challenge her on it and stuff. But here we are, some 30 some odd years later, and everything that she was speaking about in that book was true. And the state of our women psychologically has gotten worse. Coincidentally, the state of our men psychologically has improved. But anyway, so I want to go ahead and get this started, man, so I can do the reaction. Um, yeah, so without further ado, let's get it going. Here we go.
Your data from? On what basis?
Well, I studied us as a people. I interviewed black men and black women across the country. See, Phil, the problem we have here is one of behavior interpretation and definition. 99% of the black men say my book is true. We can't dismiss that, no matter what we think about
Oh,
it.
wait a minute.
Well, 99% I don't see. The poll that I've taken out of my book.
Now, the first thing that you have to understand about Black Americans is African American people is that when we start questioning someone's credentials, when we say, you know, what evidence do you have to support that claim? Let me interpret that for you, what that means for a black man or black woman out there. What that means is, what white person or what white authority, what U.S. government authority, authoritating body licensed you or qualified you to be able to basically um, say the things that you're saying or speak the way that you're speaking with definitive evidence. I heard Dr. Umar speak this recently about Kevin Samuels. He said you have uncredentialed. When that's a buzzword, it means that you have not been sanctioned by white supremacy. And Umar Johnson is supposed to be the prince of Pan-Africanism, which is to me insulting to Pan-Africans everywhere, because I am a Pan-Africanist. So it's very insulting to us everywhere, because what he's trying to do is say he's Marcus Garvey's successor, but all he does is speak. But I'm not gonna make this about Umar. But when you hear people say that, who basically, what gives you the right? What they're saying is, what governing body, United States government or white authority, licensed or sanctioned you? But let's keep going.
Well, I don't see where the fact of where she got the information has anything to do with the validity in the statement. And what I hear constantly is, where do you get your data? Is the information incorrect? If it's incorrect, then I think then you need to examine where it came from. But if it's not,
Sounds
then
like
why?
you agree with the book.
Well, I do agree with a lot of statements made in the book. But what I'm addressing now is what she said.
Yeah. You're upset at the challenge to her authority.
Well, I mean, I don't see where the question has any importance to what's going going on.
Okay, hang on one second. Yes, ma'am.
Right. If the information is valid, then why are you questioning her? The reason why is because you want somebody to say that she's invalid about her stuff that we say. And keep in mind, we ain't even gotten 50 seconds into the video, but let's keep going.
I'm just wondering, how did the white women's liberation movement hurt you? You mentioned that earlier.
Well, it did because prior to that time, we were standing with our men and our children, trying to make a way for our families and get what we thought we deserved here in the form of equality and opportunity. But once we got on your side, then it made it appear as if we were just with women against men. That's what was because of the argument that you all had with the white man, which is not our business. I'm trying to deal with this.
Yes, sir.
As she said, in the 60s, a lot of black women were pulled away from the black liberation struggle by white women who
That's
said,
right.
we as women have suffered a common oppression, which is gender specific. Little attention was paid to the fact that white women have benefited and been active participants
That's
in the
right.
oppression.
That is true. That is true. And I think that it was a devastating thing that was done, man, when you come convince somebody that they need to leave their own struggle to help join your cause, and they related it to, you know, anything about the the women's liberation movement, man. That's exactly what white women did. They absolved themselves from any culpability of slavery and the oppression of black people. I think they seen the writing that was on the wall, and I think they said, okay, let's get what we can get out the deal. And they used black women to get equal status with their men. But guess what? The white woman never left her man. She just went and got all the rights that was supposed to go to the black family. She kept with her man. But I digress. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't you think that everybody has their own choice as a person, which way they want to go, as far
Well,
as
we
a
had
black
one
or
before y'all
white?
brought us here as slaves. We used to have
Well,
choice.
I don't
we
think
used
it
to
has
have a choice.
anything to do with the way the white woman is. Maybe that we had it better off, and you thought, wait, if you come
Well,
to our
certainly
side,
you had it better off.
it was
You
yeah,
have
but
it
it was
better
our
off now.
choice.
You have
And
benefited
now
the
the
most.
black women, they like the way we
Well,
live,
see, all
and
of
they
that
want to
being
live
my
the
own
same way.
person and
But it has
individuality,
nothing to
y'all
do
didn't
with
tell us that would lead to separation and loneliness, and that's what it did.
your choice. It was
Well,
your
it was
choice
a choice
as a
where we had
woman.
been
It's
influenced.
your choice as a woman, which way you want to go. You
It
want to come
wasn't
to
our
our
choice
side,
to come
you
here.
come to our side.
Sir.
Essentially, when I read the book, it said that the black man was the one that was supposed to develop the black woman. Now, I'd like to know, no matter how much the black woman is developed or submissive to the black man, how does that make him feel any more a man or put him in any better position than he is now?
We have to rebuild our men. We have to try to help give him confidence. As a mother and the first teacher, we are in a position to do that. God made a man and a woman so that they could complement each other in each nationality. So we have to help rebuild our men. That's something that we do out of love.
Over here, Miss Oliver.
And I know this is one thing that I want to point out when it comes to Sister Shahrazad that I really admire about her. Man, I love this about her. And you see it now. She wrote a book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And she went on a talk show knowing that the book was unpopular. And she stood her ground and defended her work. And I just love seeing people, men and women, do that. Because the Bible says, always stand ready to give an account of the truth. So it's one of the reasons why I admire Sister Shahrazad so much. Because she loves her people. She loves her. She loves the sisters. She just loves the younger women, and she just really wants to see them do better. She don't want to see them alone. She don't want to see them without families. And she knows that if the black woman kept on the pace that they was, that's what was going to happen. So I think I'm gonna add a clip in here at the end to where she was speaking recently, and she was speaking truth to power. Um, so yeah, let's keep going.
You know, your book is very destructive. I've read Hakeem's book. I've read your book. Hakeem's book is about black men and women being complementary to each other, loving each other, supporting each other, dealing with the weaknesses and the strengths and the positiveness. And his book is instructional. It's not a read-through. It's a study. It's not a destruction. It's a manual for African-American men and women and children. All I have heard from you is negativity. This is what I call the black man's guide to misunderstanding the black woman.
Well, what we have
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I want to just go back to the question of your research, because I think that whoever said that research was not important, I think that is totally erroneous. And it would be on, let me finish. It would be unprincipled of you not to state clearly and precisely where you did get your data. And the other question I have for you is, are you saying then that submission and cooperation are one and the same? Because I would like to know that.
Yes, ma'am, I am. I'm saying that. And yes. And now, in regard to what you said before about my research, as I said, I've gone over that over and over. We have a situation where I am trying to teach our people that we have lost the principles and values that we came here with. The use of bibliography and footnotes is very recent history, only about 300 years. So that's not our standard. That's not our practice. That's one that the white people have set up because of their distrust. I don't have any responsibility to follow any of the rules you all follow. I am trying to give us a new set of rules of how we.
Let me pause for that. Man, she went over the bibliography and the basically you having to give power to source. And what she just said is that's not how I play ball. That is a very recent phenomenon, which is 300 years. She said that's not how I play ball. Basically, what she's saying is, dang y'all credentials. That's not how I move. That's not how we always moved as a people, which is factual. So let's keep going.
We can be successful. Our educated class has failed us.
We are in New York City talking about one of the most controversial books since Salman Rushdie wrote one. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Shahrazad Ali, its author, and we'll be back to let this audience in just a moment.
Oh, Phil Donohue.
Sir, I'm from the Shrine of Ptah, and in the study of our ancient Nile Valley culture, which is the first culture established by African people, we find a system of complementary balance between the male and female. Because most of the African people in the diaspora grow up under the Shemitic system of patriarchal systems, we have lost our way. We need to get back into the African system of the equal balance.
Shahrazad laughing at man because he got on the gear on. And if y'all didn't catch what he just said, he said that basically a Shemitic, which is Semitic or basically Hebrew, is a patriarchal system, which it is. Shemites are patriarchal. However, Hamites were patriarchal too. So yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, man. A lot of these dudes, these Kemet brothers, this Hotep brothers, man, they be lost. Like I think sometimes you can acquire so much knowledge and don't know how to properly like decipher it. It can confuse the crap out of you. And not knocking any of my Hotep brothers and all that. That's why I said some of these cats be lost, man.
Are you there, caller? I'm glad you waited. Hi, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. I don't have a lot of time.
Oh, okay. All right. What I quickly want to say is the fact that I believe that this book has become a more divisive tool between the black man and the black woman than more of making a black man understand what a black woman is all about. Number two, she still has not told us where she's got the data from. I'd like to ask Sister Ali, where did you get your data from? What age group of men did you speak to? What cities did you go to? We still haven't had that question answered.
All right. Miss Ali,
You hear that? That's what I was talking about earlier. Now, Sister Shahrazad Auntie Shahrazad clearly stated she's interviewed hundreds and thousands. She's interviewed hundreds and hundreds of men around the country, black men around the country. That's her source. But if you notice, no one is giving her credit or saying that's an accredited source because it's coming from black men. So they want another accredited source. And because she's not giving them another accredited source, they're disregarding it and keep asking her the same repetitive question over and over and over again. And you can just kind of tell that she's getting irritated. But she holds herself very well. Love Sister Shahrazad.
I interviewed 379 black men who were either married to or dating white women. I interviewed over 100 black women who were either married or dating black women, and over 1,000, nearly 1,200 black men and black women around the country. But what I found is that we don't have a control group. There was no point in me listing everybody's name in the back of the book. What was y'all going to do, call them all up? The point is that by putting their names, by not including that, then what I'm trying to say is that we have a collective problem that affects all of the people. There was no point in doing that.
Haki Madhubuti, editor, publisher, Third World Press, one of the oldest black publishing houses in the country. You are an educator, sir, director of the Institute of Positive Education. You've written 16 books yourself, the latest of which is titled, certainly to the point, Black...
Look at them shifty eyes. He look like he about to do something he got no business doing. I'm sorry. Look at them eyes, man. You can tell a lot about a person about their eyes, man. That the eyes are the gateway to the soul. Look at them eyes, man.
Men, obsolete, single, dangerous? A question mark followed. He was also, you've also published the rebuttal to the Black Men's Guide called Confusion by Any Other Name. Here's your answer to Miss Ali's book.
Well, everybody's trying to benefit.
You'll make your case, sir, and I know you'll do so as briefly as possible. Please give the gentleman your attention.
It's rough when ignorant people talk about how ignorant other people are. I think that Miss Ali has misstated the case. Her book is not political, it's ahistorical. About every page in the book blames black women. She does not go to the book to read from the book because the book is inaccurate. Everything from telling the woman's brain is smaller than the black man's brain, that essentially the male violence is okay within the context of the home, that I think we have to begin to realize that if Fannie Lou Hamer had this book, if Sojourner Truth had this book, if Harriet Tubman, any of our great women who have essentially led us to freedom had this book, they would throw it away. That the content of the book is not developmental. The content of the book is divisive. Everything from the language that she uses. I mean, she used savage in the book 27 times. It's just one example, calling black women savages. I think it's very clear that we live in a world that is ruled by men. No doubt about that.
That's not
true.
It
is a world that is ruled primarily by white men. Okay. Now the world is not working. It's not working. Anytime you hold down one half of the species, it's not going to work. I'm saying now, since the world it's to go backwards 100 years to say that now the black man must enslave black women in order for us to develop.
I'm not talking about nothing about enslavement.
May I share with this audience just one excerpt from...
Some people are into denial. Phil, don't go to the back of the book. Let's start in the front.
Well,
I know what you're going to do.
What am I going to do?
I know by now.
Tell me what I'm going to do. What am I going to read? Am I going to read?
Read from the book. Go ahead. See yourself.
Analyzing the options available to the black man when the black woman's mouth becomes uncontrollably disrespectful. They total only a few. 1, he can walk away, leave the house, get drunk. 2, he can go out, go to his other woman and complain. 3, he can quit the relationship, leave the woman. 4, he can try to argue back and lose. 5, he can seek counseling or sympathy from friends. 6, or he can offer her a sound, open-handed slap in the mouth.
All right, let me respond.
You can't be proud of that, Miss
Let me
Ali.
respond. I'm proud of this entire project. It's helping my people purge. Now let me respond.
That's right, sister. Okay. That's right, auntie. Stand on your stuff. Stand on your word. Stand on your word. Get him, auntie. Go ahead.
I really expected more creativity. I'm so tired of that one. But initially, when black women were upset about that remark, certainly we know that domestic violence is at an all-time high in the black community. I would never advocate that. But currently, the black man is stabbing us. He is kicking us. He is murdering us. He's dragging us through the street. I mean, he's doing everything to us. I'm trying to put some direction and restriction on that. There's not a black man in the world who can read my book up to page 180 and think that I am telling him to be violent against a black woman. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Is that Jesse Lee Peterson?
That's impossible.
It's not impossible.
Now, we have a lot of black men who are into denial.
It is.
We have bullied our man, and we have terrorized him. The black women in the media have bullied the black man,
yes.
and they have caused a media blackout on my project, and they have bullied him.
The major problem, well, look here, wait a minute. What we gonna do?
Sir.
Anytime someone does not agree with them, if it's a man, he becomes a wimp. If a woman, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. If a woman doesn't agree with him, then she doesn't have a man. I'm saying anytime you cannot have dialogue or dissent, then it's not, it's no way to develop.
We're trying to have
Now,
unity.
let me just
You can't
finish
have
this.
unity and separation at the same time.
The
Man,
major point.
this cat has to be like the champion simp. Like he has to be the epitome of a simp. You're sitting here arguing with a woman. You're a black man. You're sitting there arguing with a black woman about her telling her own gender to get in line and come into submission to her man. And you are trying to destroy that, saying that she's being divisive. You have to be the simp of the century. You have to have the simp gauntlet with all 6 gems in it, man. This is just ridiculous.
The major point that she misses in the book, other than blaming the black woman, is she let the white man off the hook. That essentially what happened.
No. We have been blaming the white man. We can't change white people. We don't spend 30 years trying to do that.
I'm not trying to change
ourselves.
But you cannot blame black women for the demise of the black race.
I'm blaming us for one half of the responsibility, and you all have the other half.
You don't say that in the book.
I don't have to.
Exactly. She said, I'm telling you, black women have a certain half that they have to fulfill. And I'm highlighting their half, their responsibility. Go ahead,
Say that.
sister.
You all talk about what I didn't do. Y'all didn't do nothing.
Are you there, caller? I'm glad you waited. Hi.
Hello?
Let me get this call on. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, I'd like to say to Miss Ali that I read your book from cover to cover. And, hello?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Yes, I read your book from cover to cover, and I'd like to say that you brought up a few points in the book that may apply to a few people. And you took that and you built a whole house of cards around it. And we as the black people have to come together. These house of cards will not weather the storm in our years to come. We have so much, we're facing so much. In the political.
All right, let me stop this. Let me just direct to that part. I'm trying to let it play for expended clips, but that's another argument that I hear pretty regularly, even nowadays, when you start highlighting situations of abuse, control, manipulation, the things that black women do to black men. You're downplaying how significant and how prominent those things happen and how regularly they appear in our particular community, or the African American community. I'm gonna say it like that. You downplay that by saying there are a few examples. No, they're not. They're not a few examples. They're not. Matter of fact, they're in the majority. The small example, or the examples to which it's not happening is at the lower percent. It's happening majority of the time. Our women in our community, and like I said, that's when you downplay the severity of something. What people are really saying when they do that is, we don't have to correct it. It's not that big of a deal. You're going to have a few outliers. That's what they're trying to say. But the fact of the matter is that it's the prevailing behavior that the women in the African American community exhibit. You get what I'm saying? But let's keep going.
Arena, so many divisive things are facing us. This will not bring us together. We have to come together. Not him walking behind me or I'm walking behind him. We have to join hands and work together to get through the things that are facing us. I'm a young black woman.
Together started after I wrote this book. Prior to that time, we was walking on them. See, that's all new now. Now we want to have unity, and that's what I'm trying to get us to have.
Jesse Peterson, director and founder of a grassroots organization called BOND, Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And you, what would you like to say as you listen in on this?
First, I'd like to say that BOND is rebuilding the black community by rebuilding the black man. And what Miss Ali is stating in his book is right on the money. It's very true. But what happened, the black man has failed, and because of that, the black woman has to take the responsibility of the black man, and she can't handle the responsibility. And what she has done, because of her weakness, she has destroyed her children because she's not able to handle the household.
But what destroyed her children? Talk badly about their father.
Talk badly about the father. Talk badly about the father.
You don't have to be black for this to happen, but go ahead.
I know, but this is what happened in the black community, because
We're concerned with us now.
if you look back in our history for a long ways back, the black man has not been the head of his household.
Yes, sir.
And so what Bond is doing is understanding how this woman that she speaks of in the book has destroyed the black man. What happened to his strength? What happened to his decision making.
That's
And we find that also what happened to white liberals, the way that they have separated the black woman, they're giving the black woman welfare, they're giving the black woman better opportunities for jobs.
That's right.
And so the black woman is
That's
on a
right.
throne feeling like she's better than the black man.
That's right.
And that's why the black community is failing. Because if the black woman look at this, it's going to have to say, you have to step down and let your black man, well, she don't have to do it, but the black man has to understand what's wrong with him.
That's right.
And take that position back.
So if there's a black family without a, let me.
Can't believe I was I actually agree with Jesse Lee Peters. Like Jesse Lee Peters is Jesse Lee Peters is a conservative, which I myself, I'm not a Republican, but I have more conservative values. I don't really do the liberalism stuff because I think particularly it doesn't help African people. But everything that he was saying right there was on point. He was saying everything that he was saying, aside from the point that he said when black men failed. I don't agree with that. I think black men were oppressed. I think when you say you failed, that means you had a task to do and you failed to do it without, any outside circumstances. I don't believe that. I believe the black man was targeted and he has failed to be able to take his position in the house because of those things. But I don't think the black man himself failed. But let's keep going.
Let me just understand this. Help the gray-haired guy here. If there's a black family without a father, you're not surprised. Who would want to come home to a house where she's talking like that and has that attitude toward him? And the children see this behavior and we pass it along from generation to generation.
Verbal abuse has been recorded as being just as violent as physical abuse.
Absolutely.
What you have to realize, Phil, it's out of order for a woman to be head of her family. And she just cannot deal with that. And so when the kids come home, because she knows that she can handle it, she's angry already. And she's passing this down. So in return, it's causing conflict in the black man.
And her daughters are growing up to believe that all black men are bums.
You can look at
Feeding and clothing a child is not.
Now, I just want y'all to pay attention to Mr. Phil Donohue there. He's finishing sentences before they're finishing them. He's finishing their sentences for him. Do you know what that means? That means that they already know the truth. See, in white society, they know this. They know how they run their household. They know what is the way to work. But, black people have always been a big ticket item. We've always been the means for everybody getting rich. So everybody gets rich off black dysfunction. See, when I hear Phil Donohue say those things, it lets me know that you know the truth. But you're still going to exploit it and get rich off of our dysfunction. But go ahead.
Raising it.
That's right.
It takes more than that. We need the black man in our home because they provide guidance, direction, instruction, discipline, gratification, and fulfillment.
Right.
Which a lot of black women are pretending they don't even need no more. They run around trying to act like men.
We'll be back.
Now, I just want to say this, and I'm gonna bring this video to a close because I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. I may do a second part to this, but I just want y'all to understand that speech that Shahrazad just gave. Why didn't no black women in the audience clap? No one clapped. Now, every time that a person came on here and gave some opposition to what Shahrazad was saying, everybody clapped. But when she said, our black men provide X, Y, and Z, no one clapped. That shows you that you have a low level or a level of contempt for a black man. And that's really why you're angry, because somebody is highlighting your failures, but you want the failures to be all on the black man. But I digress. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna review right now. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna go through. I am going to edit this video, put it up on my page. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for all the comments, and yeah, put my like and subscribe banner up there. But yeah, shalom, good people. Shalom.